Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. I hope you've all been reflecting and focusing on today's name, Surah Al-A'la. Today's name was quite an easy one because we covered it in yesterday's name, Al-Ali. And Allah calls Himself by both names. These are two different names. They have the same root, so they have a similar foundation, but they are different names. Allah calls Himself on occasion Al-Ali, and Allah also refers to Himself as Al-A'la. So at this point, I really want to encourage you to make these du'as really personal. And I know sisters have been sticking it on their wall or sticking it on their fridge, and that's great, but things impact us more when they're personal to us. So have a conversation with yourself, reflecting on the names of Allah. Have I been putting al-awwal first in the last 6 days? Have I prioritized salah? Have I prioritized Quran? Have I prioritized adhkar? Has he come, has remembering Allah al-awwal come to me the first thing of the day? Because we have du'as that we should recite when we wake up. Why is that important? Because it puts Allah, the first one when we wake up. Quite often we wake up like, oh, I've got this to do and that to do, and oh my goodness, got to quickly get up and probably log the kids onto their classes or rush to work or this, that and the other. When we wake up, who knows what the first thing on our mind is? Maybe it might be to check your phone, right? But have we made al-awwal the first and foremost on our mind the moment we wake up? Have we made al-awwal the first that we have turned to when a distressful situation has come about, or when you are overwhelmed by all the things that you have to do? So use the names that we are covering. Have a conversation with yourself, have a conversation with your family, have a conversation with friends, really making these names personal to you. Al-Alim, there's so much knowledge out there. Ask Allah Al-Alim to grant us beneficial knowledge. When you're stuck, not knowing what to do, not knowing what decision to make or what to start off with, ask Allah. You are Al-Alim. You are the most knowing. So please give me and grant me the knowledge to do what's best. Al-Azim, have you been focusing on your ruku? What I realized in the last few days since day 3 is, wow, sometimes I've done ruku and I've completely missed it. That's how, astaghfirullah, vacant I am from my salah. I'll be honest with you, that I find myself in sajda and I've forgotten that I was in ruku. So I'm really having to become intentional and really focus hard, like, right, when I'm going to go into ruku, now I'm going to recite Subhana Rabbi al-Azim, and I'm really going to glorify Allah because He is the strongest and the most powerful and the magnificent. So I'm having to slow myself down and really focus, and there have been times where I've finished the salah, I'm like, oh, I've missed my rukus, but keep asking, keep persevering, keep asking Allah, Allah, help me make these names and attributes of yours manifest in my day. Same with Al-A'la, You know, have you been focusing on your sujood? Have you been calling on Al-A'la, knowing that, you know, that He is the highest? You know, that we are, subhanAllah, so small in comparison to um, his sublime rank, subhanAllah. But, you know, does that encourage us to, you know, call on Him, because He is the highest, He is the most prominent, He has the best position, you know? And subhanAllah, that mind-blowing session that we did on Allah's name, which is Allah, you know, and it really got us to look at, what does Allah, you know, what is the root? Where does that come from? What does it relate to? It relates to worship. Is Allah the one we worship? You know, is He the one we truly obey and devote our love to? You know, because that's what it relates to, that He is the one we worship, the one we love and devote ourselves to, and the one and only one we worship, and is deserving of our worship, right? He is our ilah. He is the one we worship. So, sisters, what I finally wanted to say today is, we're very early on in this journey, and subhanallah, you know, I'm feeling really motivated, but you know, motivation goes up and down, and like any journey, those that you start with may not be there at the end. And so really purify your intentions and really ask Allah to help you see this through to the end. You know, that's what I'm asking Allah. Allah, help me. You know, now I've put myself in this position to help a whole, you know, cohort of sisters on this journey. Help me to see this journey right to the end. You know, grant me good health and grant me ability and grant me strength. You are Al-Azim. You are the most strongest. Grant me strength to continue this journey, you know. And so ask Allah to see it through to the end. You know, many of times what I hear others, friends and family say is that, yeah, I started learning the names of Allah and I got halfway through, or I got to, you know, this point or that point, and then, you know, life happened. Well, life's always happening and life's always going to happen. But are we going to continue? Are we going to see this through to the end? You know, are we really going to make this part of our lives? And, you know, are we going to really embed this in our heart? Because in our heart is where our beliefs lie. And so imagine if your heart was full with the names and attributes of Allah, and that's where the fountain of your life sprung from. You know, calling on Allah in everything that you do and everything that you embark on, in every trial and tribulation and every moment of goodness and prosperity. You know, that was the light of your life. You know, believing in Allah with all His names and attributes firmly in your heart. That was where your life sprung from. So sisters, renew your intentions and also make dua for me and my family so I can be on this journey with you. I'm really honored to be on this journey with you, and I'm grateful to all of you that have joined me on this journey. So on that note, sisters, we're starting a new week today. We'll have a new name. Let's continue. Please do share the names. I'm happy for you to forward the audios, forward the YouTube links, forward the images, you know, share as much as you can, and, you know, may Allah forgive me for the mistakes. But if there is any goodness in it, then may Allah accept it from all of us. On that note, sisters, subhanaka Allahumma wa bihamdik, nashhadu an la ilaha illa ant, nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.